Hello my lovelies, hi guys and girls. Sorry I look like an utter polar bear right now because your girl's still poorly and the heating is on. The heating is on full whack. We've had the fire on, I've had candles on, and I still feel freaking cold. So we are laden up with our dressing gown. So I do apologise if just watching this you feel hot, because I know a lot of people say, Shan, it's not that cold outside, and I'm like, until it's like over 30 degrees. Your girl is constantly cold, and when I'm poorly, I get extra cold. So yes, please ignore this. But my lovelies, we are here for our accountability series, episode 2. How much did I spend in February? Is this where it all went a little bit pear-shaped? I thought I'd been good. I've totted up the figures. Maybe not. Maybe not. But we was away, so I knew I would have had some leniency there, that I was going to go a little off the track, and also it was Valentine's Day and I treated mum to a few bits while we was out, so I definitely feel like it could have been a hell of a lot worse, don't get me wrong, but let's delve into it, shall we? So let's get comfy and see what's the damage for February. Ugh. So, if you're thinking, what the hell is this series? I spoke in the new year that we are on the way to trying to clear some very large debts that we have coming in this year. And the first episode went through all of the outgoings down to like the penny, all of utilities, my mortgage, my bills, my credit cards, my loans, my direct debits, everything like that. And the only thing that will fluctuate every month will be my income. And as I explained last month, I am very, very lucky to have several forms of income that I bloody work my arse off for. I'm not sitting here saying I get stuff handed to me, because I'm probably like this, I think. Because when we was away, Dad was like, can you just stop for a moment? He's like, you're filming while we're away, like just relax. So my relaxing was taking myself off to have a bubble bath and reading and getting lost in a world of true crime and thriller and all of the good stuff, basically. So I am probably my own worst nightmare for the fact that I can't switch off. I like to work. So in terms of income, I have my regular job. I obviously have my income from YouTube. I have my income from my, I don't like to call them clients, but like my UGC content clients that I do work for, and then I might have some ad hoc sponsorships or collaborations that come in, and I've had a few come through lately, and you know what, it's really exciting as to what could happen. And the reason I love these is because some of them I will have to do content and be in there, however a lot of it I can do and not have to be in the content. It will literally just be like product reels, show guides where I will do the things and then someone else can put a voice over. So I really do like this whole area of it where you're behind the camera. And don't get me wrong, when I'm looking and feeling and sounding like this, you want your girl behind the camera, not in front of it, that's for sure. So yeah, I'm very, very lucky with the options and the avenues that I have, but that's not saying that it gets handed to me. Jesus Christ, guys, you see me from my day in the life vlogmas, you see I'm up till like early hours of the morning, then I'm up and I'm out and I'm driving and then I'm back and I'm still filming and editing. I thrive on like being busy, and definitely it shows. However, this month will also show there's a contrast with what you can earn. So with this, I do apologise, why is my phone going balmy? Oh, it's emails. I'm going to put that down there because I think that's quite distracting. All incomes are variables. So the thing with social media, UGC and YouTube, it's never guaranteed. You could have 1 month where it's really, really great, and then you could have 1 month where you're like a big average difference. So for example, this month, my cumulative, so this is prior to tax and all of before the taxman gets hold of it, it's considerably less than last month, and this just goes to show the waves of ups and downs. So I'll talk about that more towards the end, but we'll actually get into the spending. The diary is to hand, we are all good to go. So I had something that was really, really, really rude and not needed this month. And that was another new windscreen. I was driving to work, and if you guys saw like my weekly dumps, a lovely rock, lovely size rock. Like, I'm surprised it didn't actually shatter the glass. I haven't had a chip. Well, I wouldn't even say that was a chip, that was a full-blown crack. I haven't had one of them on my windscreen before, and it is so annoying because I only had one about 2-3 months ago. I feel like it was just before Christmas I had a new windscreen. And the fact that it was prime driver's side, I sent the pictures off to my insurance thinking, oh, they might just be able to repair it. And it was like, no, that's a straight up like replacement. I was like, oh. Okay, so you know how last month I said, oh, I won't have this expense and I won't have that expense. I had £135 for a windscreen, so I was like, it's the joys of owning a car, right guys? It is the joys of owning a car. £50 for Mum on Valentine's Day, which, you know what? Shoot me. I'm not going to say no for treating my mum to a lovely little meal and a toy that she's coming around to the keyring idea now. I can't lie, she's coming around to it. And I got a few other bits and bobs. You know what, people might say you didn't need to get her that. I wanted to get her that. After she calmed down from a little tantrum, she was okay, and she's got it on her dressing table now. But yeah, I'm going to treat my mama. No questions about it. We have in here also a £15 treat for Teddy. Me, Mum and Dan are starting to do Teddy's little Easter box. So me and Mum was in next the other day, and she picked him up a gorgeous little checkered shirt, and I picked him up some little Teddy cargos, and I sent them over to Brogue and was like, this is the sizes, this is what they are, what do you think? She was like, oh my god, I love them. I was like, right, his Easter box is coming. So, you know what? People might say that's an unnecessary spend. Babies don't need Easter boxes. Look, if his Auntie Shannon wants to get him a Easter box, and his Uncle Dan and his great Auntie Golda, we are going to get him an Easter box. And Brogan was like, guys, I was like, right, what do I get now for you and Liam? But what we're going to do is for Brogan and Liam, when they come down in the summer, we're all going to go out for a lovely meal, but Teddy will still get his little Easter box. So yeah, Mum got him a little sewing, and me and Dad did, and then I've still actually got his Highland cow blanket that I forgot to put in his Christmas box, so that will go up for his Easter box as well. But yeah, that was a little treat for Teddy. And then a treat for me, I've had a couple of Starbucks. I've had 4 this month, which have totaled to roughly £25, which, when you think of it, is utterly ridiculous. But I wanted to try the new pistachio range and the matcha range. And you know what? I don't think I'm a matcha girl. I think if I get a green drink, it will be a pistachio drink. And I always gravitate back towards the oat shaken espresso. But I did try the iced pistachio velvet latte. That is delicious. And you know what? I feel you're on a holiday, you're at a services, you're thinking, oh, I want to treat myself to a little coffee. You're poorly and you're like, I want to treat myself. I've been the biggest, like, when I'm poorly, I feel sorry for myself. I don't want to treat myself. And I'm like, what can I buy? Obviously, that's not the way we're going to do this channel. We're holding ourselves accountable. But what I did buy, it was half price. It was £10 down to £5. And it was the new Inside the Mind Of book. It was Charles Manson. And that has been on my list. And I thought, you know what? I saw it half price and thought, sod it. Get yourself a £5 book. And then it could go in my collection, because I feel it with them, I want to read them all in like one go. So we're going to have like a big marathon of Inside the Mind Ofs. But yes, that may be seen as an unnecessary purchase. Food wise, £30, my half of McDonald's with Mum. If you guys saw the Friends challenge, that has come in this month on my credit card bill. And yes, we did spend almost £60 on McDonald's. But it was for you guys. We was trying out all of the new bits and the Friends range, and we ended up getting 2 Rachels, which I actually have one up there. So we did thoroughly enjoy that. And then our regular food shops for the month. I say regular. They come in at £70 for the month because it was only fresh bits we needed. Because we did have this month, my half of the Costco haul was £200. Yes, me and Dan went to Costco, and yes, we spent £400. But guys, that set us up for the next 3 months. Snacks, waters, the fruit and the veg lasted us a good 2 weeks. Some of it we even took to the log cabin with us. Drinks, seafood, some meat, i.e. the turkey legs. So yeah, that was like our big bulk, because the cupboards are still full with sauces and everything. The freezer is full now, so literally all we'll need on a week-to-week basis will be fresh fruit, veg, and your dairy, like your butter, your cheese, your milk, and your bread, you know. In Wales, I done really good in Wales. I thought I was gonna go like off my rocker over there. Don't get me wrong, I could have done. I went into a lovely homeware shop, and I see this print, and it was supposed to be like the Snow White and their 7 dwarfs, but it was like the 7 sheep of the stages of period, and it was like hormonal, angry, and oh, I wish I'd got it, but it was £35, and I was like, I don't know if I could justify that for that. So actually, all I got when we was in Wales was 3 magnets, sorry. 3 magnets and a pen. That is good for me. The inner child in me was screaming in them gift shops just to be like, I want it all, I want it all, I want it all. But I'm thinking we may always return. I may be able to pick up that little bit when we're away. But yes, we just had some little bits of general food, like the food shop when we drove down. We had a few admissions into things, so everything on that, my half, was £150. So that was actually including the weekend we had in Bolton as well, because we was down seeing Dan's brother, with like travel and bits and bobs and meals and all being out. So I don't think that's too bad. For a week, £150, I could easily do more than that in a gift shop. If you've been here for a while, you know that I could easily do that in a gift shop. So I think I've actually been very, very good. Primark this month, out of that haul, I kept £35 worth of items. So you know what? I'm pretty proud of myself for that, because that actually wasn't a lot. I think I just kept 2 things this month. This is what I mean. My brain is like, I'm brain fuzzy at the moment. I can't actually remember what I kept from this month's Primark. And because I'm trying to keep the filming room and everything on top, everything gets put away, because the only 2 bags I've got in here are the bags of stuff that I'm taking photos of for vintage. So I can't, normally it's in a pile in the corner, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I got. No, it's all away. So I know I kept a few things. It was probably more homeware that I kept, actually. The napkins and that. But yeah, £35. I thought it was very good. My home bargains haul this month, however, was £62. Why do I feel I had a little cricket in my throat then? But you know what, again, that's household bits. So I don't really see that as a wasted expense, because it's either food, top-ups, cleaning products, toilet rolls, kitchen rolls, like stuff we use for the house on a daily basis. So for me, that's like a household expense and a household chore. So I think it's okay. And then my fuel this month wasn't too bad. I say wasn't too bad because obviously I had the week where I wasn't at work, but me and Dan, I will always split the fuel when we go. So it was in Dan's car. I filled up on the drive down, Dan filled up on the drive back, and then we had 2 lots when we was there, like driving around. I got one and Dan got one, which I think my one of that was like £60, I think it was, for 2 like fill ups, like our halves. My fuel this month, because as I say I missed that 1 week, was £288, which compared to last month at £361, yes, about £80 difference. As I say, filling up can vary between like £80 to £100 a week for me. I do on average about 600 miles, so it depends speed, it depends traffic, and guys, the traffic this week has been utterly horrendous. I got stuck on the M25, I've been stuck on the A12, and you know when you're like, the worst thing you could do when you're poorly, I think, is city traffic, because you just want to get to your destination, whether that be you want to get home, whether you want to just get to work and get a cup of tea. Like, the worst thing I think is sitting in the traffic. So yes, it wasn't as terrible as last month, however it was okay. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I had my car insurance last month, second holiday deposit. I did have a log cabin deposit of £25, which you guys will find out a lot more maybe next month. Something a little bit impromptu, so we'll see how that goes. But in terms of income this month, so as I say, sorry guys, my eyes are starting to water. Oh, you know, sometimes when like you don't want to cough because you know if you start coughing you're gonna continue. So as I say, this is before the tax man's got his hands on it. My wage, my YouTube wage, my UGC collaborations, and then like other sponsorships and bits and bobs. Oh god, I do apologise. This month was £4,801.83. I do apologise. Compare that to last month of £5,419.32. There's like a £600 difference, not far off. And this just goes to show that, especially in social media side of things, nothing is consistent. So I would love to be in a position where I could regularly bring in an amount to match my salary, because then you know you would be on par. But it honestly fluctuates so much, whether it be through your views, your engagement, your comments, how your algorithm is. And yeah, it really does vary a hell of a lot, my lovely. So as I say, it's not when you make it big and you keep these 5-figure months rolling in. God, 5-figure months, can you imagine? But it's like you've got to be ticking over very comfortably, and I am nowhere near a position as of yet to be dropping any incomes, to be dropping or subsidising anything, because these are like all my little side hustles are coming together, and we're going to try and get all that debt off. We are going to make ourselves the best version that we can be in 2026. We are going to get a good chunk of that debt off. We are going to start to move forward. We're going to have some direct debits that are clearing up from the bank without me even knowing, because they just come out willy-nilly from the house, and then they'll be like, actually your payment's complete, and I'll be like, oh, thank you very much, and now I've got an extra £100 a month. Probably won't see it because it will go towards paying the other cards off. But yes, I think all in all this month, with my outgoings and everything, I had £2,376.40 left. With all of my expenses in terms of like my credit card, fuel and everything like that, was just over £1,000. So I had £1,299 left, of which a chunk of that goes to paying off my cards, a chunk of it goes into my ISA, a chunk of it goes into my LISA, and then I try to keep a little bit for a rainy day. And some people may say, how can you save when you're in debt? I won't be in debt forever, but when you're older, whatever you do now impacts how you're older. So even if I can put that 10, 20, however much away, that is going to benefit me in the long run when I'm older. As long as I've still got enough to make do and get by and pay the bills now, I will, yes, still be in debt, but I'm also going to be saving for my future. And it's just trying to find that balance of what you can do, where you can go, and the things around it. And as I say, there's definitely help and advice out there. I will try my best to help anyone I can. I'm probably not the greatest person to take advice of, but I definitely feel like I've got a lot of experience and can know the ins and outs of a credit card agreement like to a T. I have had several over the years, and it is what it is. I've never defaulted a payment since I was 18 and I got my first credit card. So for 12, coming up 13 years, I've never had one late payment, one missed payment, no CCJs, nothing at all. Your girl, she might have been sinking at some times, but she still kept her head over that water to not affect her credit rating. And the only one thing that did affect her credit rating was getting a freaking mortgage, which we're still building. We are still building, we are on the way up, and we will get there. My lovelies, I'm going to go because I just feel like I need to pop my head over a sink and let nature take its course, because I don't know what's going on. I go to blow my nose and there's nothing there. I'm just like, great, what are you doing to me? My lovelies, if you did enjoy this video, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe down below, hit the hype, because we've got the hype thing going on now, haven't we? Hit the hype button and comment down below, how have you been getting on this month? Have you been a good saver? Have you been a little bit frivolous? And have you been spending for Valentine's or an occasion? We're not here to judge. This series is open. We're all giving tips and tricks. Any judgment on this particular series is just not needed, because I think a lot of people throughout their life have at one point been in debt, and I absolutely love seeing your guys' comments on these videos and saying, like, some you say, no, if I can't afford it, I don't get it. I absolutely, like, hats off to you. And then I've had comments from other people who said, I've been in your position, I've had like 30-40 grand, I'm now clear, or I'm down to like my last 5, or I'm getting there. Me and my husband was in the same position. Like, I love seeing it, because debt is not something that should be embarrassed. Like, you should not be embarrassed of debt. Some people will say, how do you sleep at night and that? Everyone is each to their own, and you know what, I think everyone deals with things in certain ways, and just let people deal with their shizzle the way they deal with it, but know that there's help and guidance and tips out there, which I hope this little series does for you guys. And as I say, if you're on a saving journey or a spending ban, come along with us and we'll all try and get through it together. And hopefully next month I'll actually be a bit more put together and not be so fluey and just an absolute mess. But guys, take care, stay safe as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!